think the one thing that we have accomplished that I am pleased about, that no communities have joined No Place for Hate, because we've educated them, just like I was educated by David Boyagin's letter. So this is how, this is how it begins. This is not going to be the only meeting we have, because we have to continue until the resolution comes up in November. And I think that we have made great strides.
My prepared remarks here were made in anticipation of there being members of No Place for Hate. Could you raise your hand if any of those people are present? It looks like nobody is. So I might be preaching to the choir here, but please let me just go ahead and give my prepared remarks. I speak tonight only for myself and not any organization. I want to begin by saying that No Place for Hate chapters are composed of good people who care about their communities and schools. I respect their and your commitment and passion. This is really a pretty simple issue. No Place for Hate's creator and sponsor, the ADL, has for years colluded with a major human rights violator, the government of Turkey, to do two highly improper things that hurt the cause of human rights. First, ADL denies the factuality of the Armenian Genocide committed by Turkey from 1915 to 1923. And number two, ADL helps Turkey to defeat Armenian Genocide resolutions in Congress. The ADL's words and actions are no different than Holocaust denial. Indeed, they are worse, because the ADL knows better and claims to be a human rights group. It is worse because it is hypocritical, too. ADL says that one of its missions is to fight Holocaust denial, or diminishment, which it says is a form of anti-Semitism, which in turn is a form of hate. So by its own definition, then, ADL is engaging in hate, denial of an Armenian Holocaust. This obviously contradicts the mission and the very name of No Place for Hate. Again, the point here is not necessarily to understand the mischievous reasons behind the ADL's actions. The point is, it goes against everything No Place for Hate and its good members are supposed to stand for. What message does its continued association with ADL give to communities, particularly to young people? I think the message is this. First, we don't really take our mission statement of equality and respect seriously. Two, we put one people's genocide below another's, and one ethnic group below another. Three, we treat people differently depending on who sponsors us, how powerful they are, and whether they give us grant money and other support. I'm sorry to say those things. That is probably not the way No Place for Hate members feel, but that is the silent message. Again, despite my remarks here tonight, No Place for Hate chapters are composed of honest people. If it were otherwise, would we even be asking anything of them? It is for that reason that Armenians respectfully ask that all No Place for Hate chapters sever their ties with ADL without further delay and become independent. We also request that you ask unambiguously that ADL recognize the genocide and stop working with Turkey to oppose congressional genocide resolutions and support those resolutions instead, without reservation or amendments. And let me state that again, without reservations or amendments. Regardless of...
I was given a letter by Marilyn just before I came, signed by 8 former Secretaries of State: Alexander Haig, Henry Kissinger, George Shultz, James Baker, Lawrence Eagleburger, Warren Christopher, Madeline Albright, and Colin Powell. Only one missing is Condoleezza Rice. Let me read you, and this shows you how this is way beyond a No Place for Hate in a little town like Watertown. This has become an international issue, and as you'll see, now the Turkish lobby is blackmailing us Americans, and if we don't support it, our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan are in danger. Right? I mean, what else do you want to throw at us? It was written to Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. Dear Madam Speaker, we are ready to express concern that House Resolution 106 could soon be put to a vote. Passage of the resolution would harm our foreign policy objectives to promote reconciliation between Turkey and Armenia. It would also strain our relations with Turkey and would endanger our national security interests in the region, including the safety of our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. We do not minimize or deny the enormous significance of the horrible tragedy suffered. During our tenures as Secretary of State, we each supported presidential statements recognizing the mass killings and forced exile of the Armenians, not the genocide. It has been long-standing U.S. policy to encourage reconciliation between Turkey and Armenia and to urge the government of Turkey to acknowledge the tragedy. We understand the administration continues to urge the Turkish government to re-examine its history and to encourage both Turkey and Armenia to work towards reconciliation, including normalizing relations and opening the border. There are some hopeful signs already that both parties are engaging each other. We believe that a public statement by the U.S. Congress at this juncture is likely to undermine what has been a painstakingly achievement to date. It was so ironic. They've been undermining it for decades. This will also undermine it. We must also recognize the important contributions Turkey is making to U.S. national security, including security and stability in the Middle East and Europe. These guys are good. The United States continues to rely on Turkey for its geostrategic importance. Turkey is an indispensable partner in our efforts in Iraq and Afghanistan, helping U.S. troops to combat terrorism and build security. Is this true? I think we may have to get some of our scholars to react to that sort of statement. By providing the U.S. military with access to Turkish airspace, military bases, and the border crossing with Iraq, Turkey is a linchpin in the transshipment of vital cargo and fuel resources to U.S. troops, coalition partners, and Iraqi civilians. And if this passes, they will stop that immediately. We know that. Turkish troops serve shoulder to shoulder with distinction in the U.S. and other NATO allies in the Balkans. This I didn't know. Turkey is also a transit hub of non-OPEC oil and gas and remains key to our efforts to help the Euro-Atlantic community bolster its energy security by providing alternative supply services and routes around Russia and Iraq. Of course, they'll stop that as soon as the Armenians are helped. And second of all, aren't all of these people paid by pro-oil lobbies? I mean, I wish I had a dime for every dollar these guys are paid. I mean, it's fantastic. It's so beautiful. And then lastly, it is our view that passage of this resolution could quickly extend beyond symbolic significance. The popularly elected Turkish Grand National Assembly might react strongly to such a House resolution, as it did to a French National Assembly resolution a year ago. The result could endanger our national security interest in the region, once again, 5 times, including our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan, and damage efforts to promote reconciliation between Armenia and Turkey. We strongly urge you to prevent the resolution from even reaching the House floor, signed by 8. What I'm saying, my friends, is this is serious. This has raised the level that we have our work cut out for us. No question.
What's been happening is some of the, Anita, they've met twice yet now, and they're kind of dragging their feet. And I don't know whether I can talk for the communities, but it seems to me when you get money from a group like the ADL, it has a lot to do with it. And so money is the root of all evil, I guess, and that's where the money's coming from the ADL for these programs. And a lot of these communities don't even know or remember that it was voted on or adopted because they're not active. So that's the problem that we have. But I think just stopping other communities to join, because we have 351 towns and cities, but I believe with the doctor, this is not local. This is when we think global. And I think that we have got that attention, I really do. And I'm just amazed with it all, because I said one time, I feel like, we lit a little candle, and all of a sudden it's shining on the ADL for what they have.